Hey guys, back again in the Amazon van. I think I just turned that light on. I'm on my break. I'm parked. Packages are being delivered. No one worry. Anyways, Scotty, we need to talk about episode 3 of Celebrity Big Brother season 3, Power of Veto and Eviction. I'm absolutely living for this. It's giving everything I want and more. I'm like loving this season so much. I am eating my words so hard. Like, it's crazy.
The chemistry, I think, of the cast, I'm realizing is more important than the cast going into it. Because everyone is just really like, there's already like drama going on with Chris Kirkpatrick, Misha, Todrick, like
they're playing it like, I swear to God, they're playing it like they aren't celebrities, like they're just regular people back in the day being put in the house, not these new age people in the house. Like, I'm talking OG seasons put in the house. That's how they're playing it, almost every single one of them, literally.
It's almost better that they're not like A-list famous super, like, don't like
that feel good to try to play,
too good to try and play, or like just they're there for like, because they're not getting, I'm sure they're not getting paid like $1 million. So
no, and it is still like at least like a month and a half away from people because you quarantine and then the month there. So it's not, you know, and it's also like the burden of like, they just brought this back and they like, will this be good enough to renew that, like keep it going? Because we only got 2 seasons last time they brought us Celebrity Big Brother. So
the players are really coming and like forming alliances, going back on deals already. Like, we'll just get right into that.
You want everything like you want to see in Big Brother that made you fall in love with Big Brother. Like, that's what this season is giving. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I sit there and watch it, I'm just like, this shit's so good. I couldn't more.
This episode picks up, obviously we see Mariah and Carson nominated by Misha, which they both have different reactions to. Mariah just kind of, I don't know, kind of like goes into like the typical like I'm nominated phase, don't you think?
A little Brittany. We're gonna cry a little bit, but then we're gonna turn it around.
Yeah, and then Carson doesn't really, he didn't mind going up at first, but then after he was nominated, he kind of went a little like, I need to win Power Veto, just because like these people, they're snakes. So
wasn't wrong, because based on everything that's happened, if he had stayed on that block, I think
he might have gone
rid of him.
Yeah,
I do.
I think so. Going into it, Misha talks with Teddy and is basically assuring her safety and that she's not going to go up because target now.
As Mariah let the cat out of the bag to Teddy, so then she was like, "Okay, I need to focus on Mariah." Betrayed me, and then Todrick's like, "Don't worry about Mariah. You need to worry about Carson." And she was already only putting up Carson as a pawn, and then it just like was weird because she was already like not gonna do Teddy like that anymore. But then Teddy felt like she needed to talk to her, and then they offered up a deal, like, I won't put you up. Okay, you agree not to put me up or backdoor me. I don't want to go out that way. Give me a fighting chance. Like, I don't want to be the first to go. Please just give me a chance. If you do this for me, I will not put, if I go next week, if I'm HOH or anything, you're not going up. I'm not going to put you up. That's Teddy to Misha. And so they agreed. Like, they talked about it. And I guess like Misha, like the way Teddy talked about it in her speech and everything, she's like, she told me multiple times, like, you're good. You're good. We made a deal. You're good. I'm not doing that. And all you have in this game is your word. And so then we get to Power of Veto. We'll talk about that.
Well, I think had Todrick not had influence on Misha's HOH as much as he did, I think she might have not done it. And she might have gone with someone like Carson or just Mariah in general from the get-go. I think Teddy definitely, it's always a tough situation when you're targeted first, because if you play hard, to try and save yourself, it could
then
kick you out.
Yeah,
but it's like if you sit back too much, then you're just sent out.
Yeah.
So it is a hard situation to navigate. So I don't necessarily blame Teddy for playing too hard.
No, I wanted to see her play more. Oh well.
It's also hard when you're not on the block and you can't compete in veto and you're being targeted.
You're screwed. You're screwed if things go the way that they probably will go when it's the beginning of the game and people don't know what they're doing yet and they don't want to be a target, so they might as well let you go. Go with the house. Yeah, it's very bad.
Going into the veto, who got called for Power of Veto?
It was
Todrick, Carson, Misha, Todrick, Lamar, Cynthia.
Yeah, and then obviously Mariah plays. Yeah.
But this one, it was pretty cool, I think. Mainly just to see Carson like kill it.
I was like, I thought he did really good, but I was afraid they were tricking us and he really wasn't that good. But he really was that good. He blew everyone out of the water. So it was basically like a giant iPhone. And it was like clues of a schedule that you had to put together, like 1 through 7, right? And it was places that you were going and type thing. And you kind of had to like decipher it to figure it out. The person that put it in the right order the fastest hit the buzzer wins. Carson freaking killed it.
4 minutes?
He lived under 4 minutes. It was like 3 something. Like killed it. And then everyone, like the next closest person, I think it was Misha at like something.
Yeah. So
he blew everyone out of the water. Everybody like Lamar timed out. But didn't he throw it? I think he threw it. He threw something.
Lamar, I forgot what he did on live feeds, but someone was like, oh, this was just some like stuff that I remember reading. Apparently Lamar was talking about leaving the game.
Oh my God. Damn it. I didn't need to hear upset.
Misha was like, oh, like, or there was apparently some talk of like, what if like Lamar just says like he wants to like get put up and then get evicted. But then Misha was like, oh, like you can stay in like the HOH or whatever. But then people were like, why would he agree to stay in the HOH? I thought he wanted to leave. So maybe he's over that now. But like hearing that was just giving me flashbacks to Meta being like, man, like I just really missed my wife. And it's been like 2 weeks. Like I understand it, but like
I get it, but it's also like you're doing a job you signed up for. It's not like they said, oh, it could be a day, it could be like it could be, but like they made it very clear that like most likely you're going to be there a couple weeks, at the most 20 days, a month and a half, I guess, maybe, or at least a month counting quarantine. Like, and you agreed to it. You signed the dotted line. You said, okay, I can do this right now.
Hearing people contemplate self-evicting just makes me
so mad because there's so many people that would love to play, celebrity, regular. There are people that I hear talk about wanting to play that never get a chance. And then the people that are given a chance just crap out on it. And I understand that things are hard, but that's part of the game.
I'm not talking about Megan from season 19 because I know that that's probably going to like.
Yeah, no, not
she was going through some like specific like, PTSD.
Okay, see, that's exactly. There are some very select cases where it's like someone's having a literal mental breakdown. They need to leave.
But like my child needs breast milk and I miss my wife. No, I'm sorry.
No, breast milk to me, that should only be a thing if your child is like under the age of 3. If they're like way older and you're still just breastfeeding and you agreed to go on a show where you know that like you're going to be pumping and not being able to like, your breast milk is going to deplete, like you shouldn't have agreed to go. You should have known better. You shouldn't be having to quit. You should have just never showed up. Maybe you just wanted to get a quick half a check or something. I don't know, but I don't like it. You're ruining it for the people that want to watch it, the people that could want to play.
After Carson, no, like it really is.
Get evicted.
Because I remember seeing it and everyone was like, are we really having a meta 2.0? Because
It's a basketball
and then
player.
people were like, guys, the basketball players who just come in not knowing shit about the game need to like not
stop casting them.
And this is what I don't understand though, is like they get explained the rules, and like to have someone go in and say, I vote Chuck. It's just giving like you don't know how to listen to rules.
And it's also giving like you don't just signed up for a paycheck. You know what I mean? Like you
It'd be
really
like someone going on Survivor being like, where are our rooms?
Like what?
Girl, that's not the point of the game. Anyway, after Carson wins Power of Veto,
like, run somewhere because I don't do running.
They're like, where's the AC? They are doing a Celebrity Survivor right now. I believe so.
Is it Celebrity Survivor or is it something else?
Or it's like
something else, but it looks like Survivor. I thought it was Survivor.
I don't know. Carson winning Power of Veto, basically Misha takes that and is like, okay, now I know Carson's not going to be on the block. Should I continue with my original plan, which was backdooring Teddy? And Todrick hears that and is basically like, no, yeah. Like we got to get rid of Teddy. Like Carson's safe. Like don't worry about Mariah. Like Teddy's like already going around.
That's like Carson's number one. So if we can't get him, we got to get her. And in a way, it makes sense, but it's also like, I don't know, it just irritated me. And it's like, it's not a good look when you go back on your word right away. Like she wasn't able to give her word to Teddy in the competition without reason. Gave it to Todrick, wouldn't give it to her. A minute later, didn't know either one of them supposedly going into this game, but seems like there's a little bit of a bias against somebody. And then you are willing to give her your word, and then you go back on it. Like
I think what irritates me, it irritates me that Mariah, because I do like Mariah, and I think she just made like a dumb mistake early on, like talking a little bit.
If she told Teddy, she should have been like, don't fucking tell anybody. If you know what I mean? Like she was too open with it, and it allowed Teddy to tell people like Todrick.
But at the same time, Teddy needs to think about that and be like, okay, if Mariah is telling me this, and like maybe I guess because they were in the formation together, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah, doesn't exist. But is the alliance I actually want to see, but that's okay.
I think because Todrick was in the alliance with her, she felt comfortable going up to him, but that was her mistake. Is like, it's not just like a one and done with people in the house. Like people can flip on you super quickly, and I think that's another reason why Misha kind of was like, well, I mean, yes, Mariah ratted me out, but at the same time, like Teddy also proved that she's unloyal because she was telling Todrick, I guess. So I don't know.
That just means Misha hasn't realized that Todrick had an alliance before her, and that he has chosen her. He picked her. He wants to be with her. He is more loyal to that for sure.
No 100%. Sense, but whatever.
It doesn't make sense to me, but I don't quite get it. It's like I get it because she was in power, but we don't know how long that's gonna last, and we can see she's already irritating people that are in her own alliance.
And for spoiler for the next episode, the person who wins HOH next isn't necessarily thinking that he's gonna want to ride with her. Yeah,
he's like over. So like I don't know. It's very tricky, but I wish this is what always happens, and I'm not surprised it's gonna happen, because at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like Todrick because some of the things that I've just seen him do in life I don't love, like people he aligns with. I don't absolutely hate, but I'm not like yay, but I like him. And then at first I was like, yes, he's playing the game, I like him. And then when he's been doing what he's doing, I'm like, I like him, but he's a villain and he's not my favorite.
Yeah.
He's my favorite on the other side in a way, but he's not my favorite. Carson's my favorite. I love him. Absolutely.
I like Carson. Him. I like Cynthia, Shanna, Mariah, I'm going back and forth on, just because I do really want to like her, but there's just something about, I think it was just getting nominated first after she spilled the beans is just kind of thrown her off.
And like now she's giving me like a little bit paranoid vibes.
Mm-hmm. It's giving like Nicole Anthony a little bit.
Yeah, or like
she might like self-destruct or like get a little too paranoid and end up like messing up,
just being like super annoying. Yeah, just like losing their mind a little bit. Yeah.
So then we cut to the live eviction, which we get the little reveal that the Mon Wan hat, which by the way was the dumbest thing ever, the name, I think that if you had just been like, oh, look at this special hat, whatever, but they wanted this reveal of Nom Now.
I hate, you're like, it's dumb.
I'm like, that's why the name was so stupid. Okay, I get it. Anyway, it's revealed that the last person, it's similar to how it was given to Cynthia. Now it's the person who has the hat last ends up getting pulled off the block, or like ends up getting nominated.
They didn't choose who of the two nominees they want to replace on the block. So it basically gets down to Chris Kattan, and he gets to choose between Lamar Odom and Todd Bridges, and he swears it's not because of the snoring. But I knew his ass was gonna pick Lamar, which means Todd's on the block. And Todd was like, "Wow, really?" Like, I don't think he understands that Chris is like kind of
talking shit about the snoring.
Yeah, I think he was like really blindsided. I felt like he was a little more like butthurt about it than he should have been. But I also kind of understand being a little butthurt too. Like, the game's new. Maybe you think you're cool with someone that you're not. You don't expect to be the one to be targeted, although you're the one playing the least, having the least game talk, and you're older, and usually those people do get targeted. So I feel like you should, if you kind of saw it coming, I don't know. But he decides to take Mariah off. I think he must have been clued into the fact that like Teddy was the target, and so he felt his best bet was to sit next to her because they really wanted her to go, so it wouldn't be him. Whereas if he was near, people might have been like, well, maybe we could just flip it, and
Yeah, I think Teddy was giving some good points, but it was just kind of falling on deaf ears at that point.
Late, yeah.
So, and that's another thing, is like you don't have time to like sit on stuff like this when you have like a day or two in between getting nominated and on the block, especially when it's like a situation like this,
being evicted, because it's all so quick. Sometimes you get those people that are just like, all right, bye guys, but like you could tell like Teddy still didn't want to hug Misha, you know what I mean? Like, didn't hate her, but like I'm still feeling a type of way. Everything is happening like, you promised me something yesterday, went back on it later that night or whatever, similar to that timeline. And then today I'm evicted, like it's, there's no time to process. So it's almost gives double eviction vibes.
Yeah.
Because so quick that there isn't enough time to really do much or for people to like get over stuff.
It does provide good excitement, like a double eviction where like literally anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like just, it's going to be this way and like we have to sit around for 3 days,
That's true. When I really Teddy to stay, and I think it would have been really fun to get to see her watch her play a little more, because I felt like she did want to play. But I also understood if you have someone that's not playing versus someone playing, and if the person playing isn't really on your side, you obviously get rid of them. Like as a game, like from if you're on the side, the majority of the house that isn't aligned with her, and she's actually feels like a threat, I get why they got rid of her. But I wanted to watch her, so I was disappointed, but it's still good. I'm still, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's reminding me of when Shannon got eliminated in the first season, where like I know that it was like week 2 or 3, or like the weeks, you know what I mean? Like it's shortened weeks, but
yeah,
it's kind of like where they kind of already made up their minds. There's nothing that you can do. And it just kind of sucks that that's part of the game sometimes, where like you really have no way of like changing their minds, especially when you have someone like Todrick at the helm kind of leading Misha to like get Teddy out because of his whole deal with Carson. Like, I don't know. And then also Misha's just like weird rivalry or like vendetta against Teddy for some reason. I don't know.
I want to know if Teddy like said something to her that pissed her off when they first walked in the house. I want to know if she watched her in Real Housewives and didn't like her because she got kicked off that show too.
It was like night one, and she was already throwing like weird shade. I was like,
yeah, from the jump, she didn't like her for whatever reason. Sometimes people just do not click and there's not a real reason. It's just personality, whatever. Some of those people end up being friends outside the house and it's just that environment that didn't work. And sometimes it's just weird, but I feel like it didn't make sense how much she didn't like her and how easy it was for her to just want to go back on her word when I feel like the way she was playing her game, I feel like she wouldn't want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We get to the voting, which I guess kind of shocked some people.
Jesus, that is a low-hanging airplane, excuse me. Loud as hell. Okay, SFO.
Everyone except for Carson, Chris Kattan, and Cynthia vote to evict Teddy.
Chris Kattan is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He was so
he was like, why would it was giving the same reaction to the nominations where he was like, what?
Have I been sleeping? Yes, you have. That's exactly what happened. You haven't.
Or he's like, how is Teddy getting evicted? I'm like, were you there? Anyway.
He's like, but I wanted to get the snorer out. And then he's like, next episode, he's like, I swear it wasn't because of the snoring. I swear. It's only like 10%. Like, you know? I'm like, it's a little.
I think it's funnier.
Him and
Todd
I think
so too. I think like they like go back and forth, but like they're cool. It's just like kind of funny at this point.
Kind of like Will and Howie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
shit was hilarious.
It's not game related. It's just like you annoy me on a personal level, but like I don't.
Sometimes like whatever.
Yeah. Teddy ends up getting evicted. It's a little sad just because it
was sad. Cynthia's
I wanted
crying.
someone to stay, but she gets evicted, and we find out later that the next episode is going right into the HOH. So that's where we'll leave off for this one.
Yes, and we're gonna film that right now because everything's so fast. There's an episode tonight. So much going on. You're gonna need to like, comment, share, subscribe, and catch us in the next one.